Hi there. Today I'm going to teach you to play Powerhouse, one of the 22 games you can play with a copy of Pyramid Arcade. Now in this game, we play astronaut archaeologists digging through the ruins of a long dead alien city. And we're finding these power crystals. Now the object of the game is to create a clean powerhouse consisting of one of each of the 5 colors, all the same size, and nothing else. For this game, you'll need 3 trios of 5 different colors of pyramids, the Pyramid Arcade bag, or any drawstring bag large enough to hold all 45 pyramids, and 3 dice. The type of dice does not matter. Setup for the game is very simple. We just take all the pieces and we put them into the drawstring bag. Now, this makes the game excellent for taking to restaurants and such because it's very portable and it begins with all the pieces inside the bag. But there is one other thing you have to keep in mind. When playing Powerhouse, it's best to imagine a 5x3 grid of pyramids going from small to large. As the game goes on, the pieces you receive will be placed into spaces in this imaginary grid. Now, you could draw up a real grid if you wanted to, but it's not necessary. The action of the game consists of reaching into the bag and taking out a piece at random. So you'll be able to go for a particular size, you just won't know what color you're going to get. Now the game begins by setting up your initial grid with one of each size, small, medium, and large. And the opponent will need to have a set as well, so I'll set up the opponent's grid for them like this. So as you're filling out your grid, if you get a piece that matches one you already have, you just stack it on top. And if you get a piece that doesn't match one that you already have, you just put it into its appropriate space in the imaginary grid. Now, there are 2 phases to every turn. First, you'll reach into the bag and pull out some piece and add it to your grid. Then, depending on what you have in your grid, you may or may not have some power reactions to resolve. As the pieces accumulate in your grid, they'll match up in various ways. For example, this is what we call a battery. 3 pieces all the same color, one of each size. Now, a battery can be used right away or you can save it for later. But when you use your battery, what happens is you're going to keep one of the 3 pieces in the battery, discarding the second by putting it back into the bag, and the third will be transformed. Now, transforming is an action in which you give a piece of yours to another player and transform it into one of their pieces, in which case you take possession of that piece, or into nothingness, in which case you are just dumping your piece onto your opponent. Now, having transformed my medium yellow into the other player's small yellow, I have created another type of pairing, which is known as an unstable reactor. This is 2 pieces of the same size and the same color. Now, if you manage to get the 3rd piece of that same color, your reactor becomes stable and you can use it at any time you want. However, with an unstable reactor, you must process that power reaction right away on your turn by using one of those 2 pieces in a transform action, again, either taking an opponent's piece or transforming it into nothingness. So on your turn, you're going to reach into the bag and pull out a pyramid, or you could pull out one of the cubes, the meltdown cubes. Now that creates a situation in which all players have to discard a piece from their grid. Now, if you pull out the second cube, everyone has to discard 2 pieces from their grid. And when the 3rd cube is pulled out, everyone has to discard 3 pieces from their grid. But then all the cubes go back into the bag and the situation resets. All right, now let me take you through a couple of gameplay examples. Let's say I were to reach into the bag and pull out a large black piece. Now this large black goes into my powerhouse and creates a reactor. It's unstable, so I have to process it immediately. So what I'm going to do is give them this piece and transform it into a small blue, turning my blues into a battery. Now, I could just end my turn here because I don't have any more required actions, but I'm going to keep going because I can win. I'm going to trigger this battery, meaning I keep one piece, my large, I throw my medium away, or my small, in this case it doesn't really matter which, and transform my remaining piece, giving the other player my small, and exchanging it for their large yellow, creating a clean powerhouse and winning the game. Now, in this case, I have a powerhouse, but it's a dirty powerhouse. I've got other pieces in my grid, and I have to clean them out before I'm able to win. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned yet is that since I have this powerhouse, it can't be broken up. So my opponent wouldn't be able to steal any of my 5 large pieces because they are already locked in together. And the same would go for me if another player had a powerhouse as well. So let's say I pull out a medium green. This, of course, creates an unstable reactor. So I must immediately give away one of these medium greens and transform it either into nothing or another player's piece. So I start by giving away my green, and now note that this creates an unstable reactor for the other player, but they don't have to process it until the reaction phase of their own turn. So now I have to take back a piece, or not, but I choose to take back their medium red piece, giving me 2 batteries, both of which I'll trigger, dumping one piece into the bag and transforming the other piece into nothing. Then I've got a clean powerhouse, and I win! And that's how you play Powerhouse, one of the many games you can play with Pyramid Arcade. Thanks for watching, and thanks for playing my games.